Hi, welcome back to my channel. It is time for the aftermath, my first one in a while. It has finished West Ham United 1, Manchester City 1 at the London Stadium. Overall thoughts of that game are fairly positive. West Ham continued this unbeaten run, and it's been an unbeaten run against top 6 teams. I thought West Ham controlled the game in the first half, dominated in the first half, scored an excellent goal from Michail Antonio. But in the second half, West Ham had to go a lot more defensive. That's because Manchester City made changes in their midfield, and it kind of threw our defence off a little bit. Not threw our defence off completely, so to speak, but our defence wasn't expecting City to be that energetic in the second half. I'm going to get into all the details of the game, talk about starting lineups, goals, and some players who definitely need a mention. And one in particular is a guy who is really starting to make his mark on the team. And you're going to find out who that is. The only one thing that I think was concerning a few fans before the game is that Benrahma was nowhere to be seen in the starting 11 or the sub bench. And after a few questions being asked, it came to light that Benrahma was declared unfit for the match. Not that he's injured, but he wasn't match fit. And to be fair, it's a sensible decision from David Moyes not to play an unfit player. Benrahma hasn't really had a lot of league involvement ever since the playoff final last season for Brentford, and he's only appeared in a League Cup game and a few international games for Algeria. He hasn't really played anything domestically. Don't forget as well, Bowen came from the Championship as well, and he had to work his way into the starting 11. He had to work his way into the team. Benrahma's going to do the same. It took West Ham about 10 minutes to actually kick into gear, but it was worth the wait. And the player that was starting to stride forward a lot was Bowen. Bowen clearly is that kind of box-to-box winger we've been looking for. His pace, the way he was getting down the sidelines, getting into the box and cutting in, he was looking really good in the first half. Thomas Souček as well was looking pretty good. He was doing a lot of defensive work, especially to stop Raheem Sterling. And Souček in the box, his physical presence was, again, really good to see. He was worrying City's defenders by coming into the box with his tall height and energy. Another player that was doing really well in this game was Arthur Masuaku. Masuaku was acting as a defender and going on the wing at the same time, which is kind of what the wing-back does anyway, but Masuaku's really made that position his own. He helped out Fornals a little bit in that sense as well. And another player that was doing really well was Declan Rice. He had a 100% passer rating in that first half. Declan Rice never, ever has a bad game for us. He never misses a pass either. He was perfect. And as a leader, he's looking really good for his age. 21 years old, mature beyond his years, and you can tell how much he is respected by the players. West Ham then took the lead, and it was a very well-worked goal. Thanks to the checkmates. Vladimir Coufal connected with Thomas Souček. Coufal puts in a cross. Antonio with the overhead kick, low, into the net, under Ederson. It's 1-0 West Ham. Beautifully taken goal by the number 30. Antonio has been looking really good as a forward, and he is now Moyes' main man. He really is. He's keeping Sebastian Haller on the bench because Antonio is a strong, dynamic forward, even though that's not his natural position. He's a winger, but as a forward, he's strong and he's good at scoring. He's got that eye for goal, as we can all tell. Overhead kick. Not as good as Andy Carroll's against Crystal Palace, though. I will say that. But still an overhead kick. Goal, 1-0 West Ham. And after that, West Ham still kept on going forward and still kept making a few good chances. Michail Antonio yet again broke away, and he kind of went one-on-one with Ederson. Ilkay Gundogan fouled Antonio in the box. Well, it appeared to be a foul. Antonio went down and nothing was given. Not even a yellow card for Gundogan. Wasn't even reviewed for a potential penalty. And that was one of many bad refereeing decisions in this game. Anthony Taylor did not have a good game today. All of the key decisions were going against West Ham. There were fouls that weren't being given. There were very soft tackles that West Ham gave away that weren't even worthy of free kicks, yet the free kicks were given. And that was a continuous theme throughout the game. Key decisions were going against West Ham, but West Ham rallied through that and still made something good of this game. And that wasn't me giving a negative about the first half, because that first half was fantastic. I can't discredit any player for the Hammers. Everyone was excellent. Sopal was excellent. Masuaku was man of the match so far. Declan Rice wasn't missing any tackles. He was defending solidly in that midfield unit. Soucek was getting forward. Bowen was making runs. Antonio got the goal. I could go on and on, but every single player at that point was at least a 7 out of 10. It ended 1-0 after the first 45 minutes, and it was looking really good. It was interesting to see what Manchester City would do in the second half, and my initial thought is that they were going to change up the midfield. I was right about the midfield. Phil Foden came on at half-time, and off came Sergio Aguero. After the game, I found out Aguero may have picked up a little knock, but taking off Aguero was a big thing for Man City. Foden came on and he scored the equalising goal. Like I just said there, I said he'd come on and make a change, and that was the change. He scored the equaliser. And I'm going to have to slag off the defence a little bit for that equalising goal. Soucek wasn't even near Foden. He was given time and space to shoot in the box. He buried it. And after it was 1-1, you could see the tide was turning a little bit. Not necessarily in a shocking way, but you could tell that something was going to be different. Soon after West Ham conceded, Michail Antonio came off and on came Andriy Yarmolenko. I wasn't too annoyed about Yarmolenko coming on, but it's what he did in the second half that did kind of annoy me. He was having a really bad game. Yarmolenko is a left-footed player. Okay, he plays on the right. He can't use his right foot at all. João Cancelo had Yarmolenko sussed out. I remember that Yarmo went up close with Cancelo. Yarmolenko's trying to cross it into the box. The best option is for him to use his right foot, but he doesn't use it and he ends up putting it out for a goal kick. Yarmolenko didn't really get going in that game, and it's a shame because he is a useful player. He's still got quite a lot in him, but it just didn't really work out for him today. I would say that when Manchester City brought on Kevin De Bruyne, I was kind of worried a bit. At this point, I was thinking, Foden's on, De Bruyne's on, here comes all the creativity, here come all the set pieces, we're going to have to defend for our lives. And West Ham didn't defend for their lives, so to speak, but they kept it tight. Bowen certainly did. He cleared a lot of crosses out for corners. And Masuaku, yet again, tracking back. Mahrez was given a golden chance to shoot at Fabianski. Masuaku got there in the nick of time to stop Mahrez from shooting and put it out for a corner. That's how good Masuaku was today. He was getting back, defending and attacking. He did it all. And he showboated a little bit as well. I think he took on two players and used the 1-2 trick and went behind. Sebastian Haller also came on in the second half and Jarrod Bowen came off. I didn't really understand that substitution. I would have taken Pablo Fornals off, just because keeping Bowen on would have added some pace and somebody for Haller to work with. Haller came on and he didn't get a touch of the ball. Not that I saw anyway, he didn't really get a touch of the ball. He was isolated. Nobody was there to work with him. The nearest player he had to work with him was Yarmolenko. And Yarmolenko wasn't having a good game. Even more so by the fact that Yarmo passed the ball back, Sterling latched onto it, went one-on-one with Fabianski, and Fabianski came up big to stop it. And Fabianski had a good game too. Big saves like that kept West Ham in the game. But it doesn't ignore the fact that Yarmolenko was error-prone and not doing much. If I were to make a substitution, I would have actually put on Manuel Lanzini and then taken off Fornals. Because Lanzini would have compensated for Bowen not being there. Lanzini would have added that pace back in and worked up well with Haller. Manchester City have had a pretty poor start to the season, and it's actually Pep Guardiola's worst ever start in the opening 5 games as a manager in general. I've seen a little bit of his post-game interview, and he did make a few comments about West Ham. He wasn't too praiseworthy towards David Moyes or the West Ham players, and I think that's a really stupid move. West Ham dominated that first half, were all over a world-class team, well, what you should call a world-class side, with a lot of expensive players, and West Ham just bossed it. Second half, West Ham bossed it defensively. City lacked in attack in the first half. West Ham had a plan, stuck to the tactics, and dug out that point. As for the man of the match, there's been a little bit of debate about this on Twitter because I think every single player was fantastic today. But if you have to give it to just the one player, I honestly can't decide between Arthur Masuaku and Declan Rice. If it has to come down to one, I'll give it to Arthur Masuaku. He was doing a lot of tasks to help out with the midfield. And having him as that left wing back is a real gem. He's become a top player for us because of that position. He's become a top player in Moyes' system. Thank you very much for watching Aftermath. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. From the Anvil question, we'll be back next week, and I will be doing the preview and the post-game show for the Liverpool game. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you all soon. Take care for now.